What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some hip-hop, and we're back for an insanely short, eccentric, and quite mad bit of genius, which is to say we're going to listen to the track Meet Cleofis, Randolph, the Patriarch, already an interesting name, right? Which comes from Deltron 3030, the first of two albums by Deltron 3030, a conceptualized side futuristic project of Del the Funky Homo Sapien, his solo name in his hip-hop career, Taron Jones' real name, mixed with Dan the Automator, a producer, and Kid Koala, a DJ. But all in the first Deltron 3030 album from 2001, there are a lot of guest producers and vocalists, and this one features both. So it's lyrics written by Del, and when you hear them, you will not be surprised if you know who Del is, and if you don't, he's one of the craziest, most creative hip-hop MCs I've ever encountered, and a lot of his lines and comments about hip-hop in his tracks are about how it's not about, you know, being tough or being a gangster, it's about fluency with rhyme and ingenuity, and like his lines build off of what he does. So it's one of those things where he articulates what he's doing in his lyrics while he's doing that in his lyrics, if it makes sense. But yeah, so he wrote the lyrics. The MC for this one is Paul Barman, who I don't really know, seems to maybe be in the like nerdcore type of genre, which would make sense, getting someone maybe in that world to do the lines we're about to hear. The producer is Mark Bell, and by Mark Bell I don't mean Mark Bell Tin Rib, and people who know the hard house scene and hard trance scene from the mid to late 90s will be familiar. But no, this is Mark Bell of Low Frequency Oscillation, a group I believe from Leeds that was around in like the 80s and maybe late 80s, early 90s, something to that effect. Regardless, he was one of the guys in that group and has gone on to make tunes in like techno and house and some other like electronic genres. So the music here is by him, the rhyming is written by Del, the Funky Homo Sapien, and the actual lines are delivered by Paul Barman. And this intro is about 5 times longer than the track itself, but we're going to hear about, you know, earth tones, burst tones, erogenous zones, like we're going to hear about disturbed and bitter herbs like salt water and parsley. It's all going to happen in about a 27 or 30 second span, so let's hear it. This is from the Deltron 3030 album, a track called Meet Cleofis, Randolph, the Patriarch, performed by Paul Barman and produced by Mark Bell, though again, the overall producer of the album is Dan the Automator, and the DJ for the album is Kid Koala.
What's happening? I keep my dreadlocks in a napkin ring, rap and sing. Unlike the homogeneous clones, I'm into earth tones, burst tones, and erogenous zones. The more ticklish, the more you have. I'm sitting on the curb of what used to be the burbs, and before that was Canarsie. I'm a disturbed and bitter herb like salt water and parsley. Mites crawl up, tights fall down. That's my mnemonic for stalactite slash stalagmite. You may have this maglite, it survived the apocalypse. And for the fragile force of an agile horse, here's a handful of very special chocolate chips.
For the, what is it, fragile force of an agile horse, here's a hat full of very special chocolate chips. Mites crawl up like bugs. Mites crawl up, tights fall down. That's his mnemonic for remembering stalagmites slash stalactite. Like, who writes lyrics like that? Who the hell puts that in a hip-hop track? Del, you're insane, you're brilliant, you're genius. It's just this weird, incredible experience. And I like hip-hop of all different flavors, including tunes that kind of have that, you know, 90s gangster hip-hop sound. I'm not immune to enjoying tunes of that subgenre. But yeah, I hear something like this and it's like, wow, there's like, you know, there just isn't stuff like what Del and the Deltron project has done. And I shouldn't overstate that. There is other really eccentric or intellectual style hip-hop, but just Del does that in his own way very much. And even though, again, this is a project that involved a lot of other people, most notably another producer and a DJ, you know, at the core of it, at the intellectual center of it, was Del the Funky Homo Sapien. So shout out to Taron Jones again. Let me know what you think of this crazy tune. Sorry the talking was about 10 times longer than the track, but you know, sometimes you gotta set something up because it's so short, some of the nuances may be missed. So in any case, let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.